Good morning. My name is Leong, the ID EB20023, and this is my project for computer programming. And our title is Parking Lot Management System. This project is me and my teammate Azim. Here is our codes. So I will first walk through the codes, and then I will do a demonstration on how it works. So first, we can see there are a few user-defined functions here. Map, road, and check in, check out. So a brief description on our project is that our parking lot management system is first we run the code, and then we are required and to enter what are we going to do. So are we checking in? So like when we come into the parking lot, we choose that we are checking in, and then we choose a parking slot. And then the other option is check out. So you have parked in the parking lot and you want to go out, so you check out. So first it prompts you to choose you want to check in or check out. And then that's the basic general summary of the whole code here. So we have a few user-defined codes, and then here is the main. It is quite small because we use a lot of the user-defined function. So here a few we define a few variables for the functions. First important thing is parking. There an array for parking. So we have array of 10. So the parking has 10 slots only. And then we predefined slot 3, 4, and 7 to be occupied. So in check-in, we can like have so for check-in, we can say that this spot is taken, so we cannot register onto that slot. And for checkout, because our code is designed that if your slot was not checked in, so there is an empty slot, you cannot check out. So, and then these 3 slots will act as the slot that is occupied. Next is just a print of the introduction to our parking lot. Choose our options. So we have 2 options here. We scan for either an E or an O for either check in or check out. And then when this is called stat or status. If the status is E, so we proceed with check in, the function check in. And if the option is O, so check out, we will run the checkout function. First, I want to talk about the check-in function. So check-in function here, you see for check-in. So we take in this. So we are passing the parking array into the function here. Check-in, we take in the parking array so that we can know if slot 3 and slot 4 or other slots is either occupied or not or empty. So we take in uh, the array, and it returns nothing. So we use void for checkout also, and for others like the map is also void. So first we see int slot. These are definition. We define some use. So first we see slot. So when you do check in, after it runs check in, it detects you are E. It prompts you to enter a parking slot number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You choose either number. So if the number, so for instance, I choose slot 1 because array starts from 0. So we say parking slot -1. So if we have slot number 1, and then in the array it is parking 0. So that's why it's slot -1. And then if it is slot -1, if the slot is empty, so it is 0, it will print parking is available, if parking number is available, and then it will require us to enter a name and a license plate. So in our case, because our the name and the license plate has no further uses, because we have not find a way to essentially export the name and license plate to two values onto another function. So we skip this part, and that is why you can see that we assign to the same variable. And since we are not actually going to print it out or have any other uses, so this is just for looks. It essentially has no function. So that's why it is same variable. And then when we choose, after we choose a slot, and then we it is available, and in our name, we show a map. And then just a safety reminder, and then stop. This stop is for this do while. So it will run first, and then it will check for stop. If, because this is checked in successfully, so it will have stop equals 1. When stop equals 1, it means that I can stop. And then else if, so for this is when you choose like slot number 3. So slot number 3 is occupied, so it's 1. So it will print out, sorry, the parking is taken. And then you go stop equals 0. So since stop is equal to 0 and not equal to 1, it will run again. Also, same for else. For else, it is mainly for like we choose a number that's not in our scope. Like for example, 11, 25. That's not in our scope of numbers. Then it will say invalid slot, run again. So this is for the do while. And now I would want to talk about the map. So for the map, we have 3 functions for the map. This here. The first main function for the map is that if it takes in the slot, so since slot 1 is available, so it will take in that slot, put it in here. So in this function, it compares. So if it is slot 1 to 5, so it is on the first row, then it will run another function, map row 1. For map row 1, it is a switch case. Switch case, so case number 1, so 1 to 5. So basically, it is just a printf. So we also use void. So for this, for instance, like number 1, so we bracket the number 1 on the map. So case 5, we bracket the number 5, and then break. And then just printf the other row, which is not affected in this scope. So 1 to 5 only is changed. 6 to 10 is not changed. And then the other one is 6 to 10. So first row is not changed, and the only change is second row. So we have a row 2, just like row 1. And then there's else. So just like what I said, if it is not in our scope, like 24 negative something, it will print out a full map. And then for checkout, when we run checkout, it is print choose the parking slot. And if the parking slot is occupied, so it is 1, first it will define as 0. And then we will prompt it to have this printout. So why we initially wanted to be able to loop again. So after we check out, and then this slot is saved as checked out. So we can, in the next instance, in the next loop, that we can recheck in into that specific slot. But we don't have the appropriate way to do that, so we left it here. But it does not affect very much because it is not looped from this scope. So it just stops, straight away stops, just like in check-in. So if the slot is not taken, so it is not empty, so it is empty, so there's no car. So the slot number is not taken. You loop back. And just like others, if it is invalid, enter again. So this is just so this is our codes. I'll demonstrate it. So run. Okay, I pull it up. So it first prints out this. Welcome to Berjaya Mall parking lot. First we do check-in. So capital E, check-in. Please select our parking slot. So just like we said, 3 and 4 is occupied. So if we choose 3, is taken. So we loop back to here. And then like 7 is also the same. So sorry, it's taken. But if we choose number 5, number 5 is not taken. So number 5 is available. Now we enter our name. So COG, license plate 20023. Okay, so please park your car at slot 5 with slot we chosen. And then there is the map, slot 5. So we run again, we try another. So slot 9. Slot 9 is available, COG 23. So the second row, it points it tells us to park at slot 9, and then it points out the map for slot 9. Now for checkout, we press capital O, checkout procedure. Please select our parking slot number. So just like I said, we define 3, 4, and 7 as occupied. Others is empty. So we press 2. 2 is not occupied, so it's not taken. Please enter again. And then if we choose number 4, okay, so number 4 is taken, so we can check out. Check out done. Have a good day. And that is all for our code. Thank you.